Hello, welcome back. This is Miniature Mike, and per request, we're gonna do Han Solo. So, Han Solo, pretty cool character. I think there's nine of them. So, not too many, but definitely a good amount. And they're all, I'd say, pretty similar. Have some similar trends, similar things going on, but they all mostly have their own flavors. And I feel like each one, in some cases, will build upon the one before. So. Anyways, without getting into it too much, let's get into Han Solo. But first, though, definitely when you comment, I want to hear what other characters and things you want to learn about next or want me to go into. I'll probably put up a poll, but if I don't hear anything, then I'll probably just put up a bunch of random things, and I'm curious what you say. But if there's specific people you want me to take a look at, definitely make a comment, and we can talk about it, and it'll be a lot of fun. So let's jump right in. So who do we got first? We got Han Solo from Rebel Storm. So the original one, he's not too bad, honestly. He kind of is bad, but if you really think about it, he's got accurate shot, cunning attack. He's got solid stats, 80, 17, 8, and 20. And then he's got 28 cost. And he even has a force rating, too. So at the end of the day, he's really just kind of he just has a nice shot. That's what he was for back then, Not bad. If you want to target a specific enemy, he can take him out, but he falls behind. Definitely falls behind now. So overall, I think he gives a fair score. But when you take a look at other 28s for a shooter, he actually has pretty great hit points. But his survivability across the board doesn't bring anything to the table. Future ones will. His attack is fine. His max damage is okay. I mean, the fact that he can do 30 is helpful. Special abilities, I think, is solid. Having accurate and cunning is definitely a nice combo, along with having the force rating. The ability synergy between those two is good. His versatility, not so good. Han Solo, I give him a fair. I don't think he's excuse me. I think I'd give him a fair score overall. And Blue Milk, not very high on him either. At the end of the day, he's interesting, he's neat, he's outdated, but obviously, if you really wanted to, you could buff him with a lot of different characters. I don't think it's necessary, though, because there's a lot of other solos that pretty similar to him. They just, have one extra power, they'll have maybe a couple extra things, and they cost about the same, maybe cheaper, and then you can mix them with all the different, interesting rebel people that can grant some nice commander effects. So, okay, he kind of got it started, and that's good enough. But let's get on to the more interesting Han Solos, shall we? So, first of the interesting ones, finally, Han Solo Rebel Hero from Universe. Cost 35, got really nice stats. He's got 90, 19, 11, and 20. 11 attack's pretty nice for base attack for a shooter that's around this time, cost bracket. It's really good. So he's got accurate, he's got this guy's got mobile, he's got that force rating, and then a commander effect is followers within 6 squares, they gain advantageous attack. So, for in case you don't know, it's 10 damage against enemy who is not activated. It's like a weaker cunning attack. It's not a bad commander effect. It's not my favorite one, though, but it's fine. It's definitely fine. But overall, though, taking a look at him, his hit points, having 90 hit points on a shooter that's a 35, that's still pretty good, pretty dang good. Survivability against shooters is going to go up really nice. Having mobile attack can kind of hit and run, stay behind, stay away, stay out of line of sight. He's got just little stat increases across the board, that's nice. Against melee people, it's really still not that great either. The fact that he can move and shoot is helpful, but he doesn't have much else going for him. Max damage is still fair. That's the thing about a lot of Han Solos you'll see. Not too many of them can actually shoot twice. Most of the Han Solos are just one-shotters. With the exception, I think, 3 of them. Yeah. And there's another exception as well, but we'll get to. But he's just like the other ones. You'll see this common theme. You'll see accurate. You'll see cutting attack for the most part. But this guy, he's great special abilities overall. So I think his stats are really nice. His special abilities, very nice. They all go really well together. His abilities synergize really well. He's very versatile, I think, overall. For commander effect, I gave it a 3. I might give it a 2.5, but I think 3 is fine. It's a solid commander effect. Maybe if I sat around long enough and thought about some really good uses for it, I probably could, but I don't know. Never really been super excited about this one, but it's not bad either. In terms of Han Solos, I give him a 4. I think he's just a really solid mobile sharpshooter. I think if you look back at him now, I think somewhat you could look at him and say, oh, he's not quite as cool or as sexy maybe as some of the newer ones, but I actually think he holds up really well. I think he has the highest base attack of any of the Han Solos, which is really helpful to be accurate, and he has cunning attack, so he can get a 15 attack, 30 damage out pretty easily, and that's like guaranteed damage on it for a shooter pretty much. It's really good. So, doesn't have the highest damage output, but he's definitely a nice hit and run guy, nice sharpshooter that can run around, nail targets. But yeah, it's a commander effect. Excuse me. You have to forgive me if I yawn a lot in this video. A bit tired. I'm actually filming this pretty early in the day, or early in the evening, but I've just been getting over strep throat, I think. So not fun, but definitely on the mend there. And so I'm just kind of hanging in there on the weekend. But I wanted to get this thing out, especially so you guys could take a look, watch, view, and just enjoy. So hopefully it turns out good enough. And I love the flavor text on this as well. Never tell me the odds. Well, we're going to see that again here soon. But overall, I like him. I haven't used this solo too much, to be honest with you. I think his sculpt is pretty sweet, though. I like it. I like the Endor kind of look for a lot of the characters. It's kind of funny because he doesn't have... I think if they made this character later, they would have given him stealth. But, makes sense that they didn't because he's kind of a commando in this sense. But it's all good. Let's see, what do we got coming up next here? But I like this guy. I think he's a little underrated. Those are some nice stats, so keep those in mind. Next we get to, wow, we're really going up there fast. Han Solo Scoundrel from Bounty Hunters. Kind of expensive. He's 46 now. He's got 80, 17, 9, and 20. So he's actually got a little bit worse stats. He's got 10 less HP, 2 less defense, and 2 less attack. And he has things that'll make up for it, of course. But just kind of keep that in mind. He costs almost 50, and those aren't my favorite stats for someone who costs 50. But let's see what he's got going on. He's got accurate shot and cunning, like usual. But this guy, he also has mobile attack. But now we got evade and twin, and we still got the force power rating. So it's kind of interesting. Like this he's just really kind of that ultimate mobile hit and run shooter. Evade is really nice, and mobile attack for that extra survivability. The thing about this guy that I struggle with a little bit too is like he is great. Blue Milk likes him, and totally on the right track. But sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I just see this guy and it's like he does have evade. I feel like if you catch him in the wrong spot, he could just disappear really fast. Maybe I don't know. He does seem really good. Like he can nail one target really hard. He'll get 13 attack, 30 damage, 2 attacks. So he can be that mobile hit and run guy. But I think overall, for how much he costs, great abilities, but those stats kind of sort of like, what do I think about those? I don't know. Overall, though, I think he's great. The hit points, though, for a 46 shooter is actually not so good. If you have a shooter that's in the 46 range, you're going to probably expect more like 100 hit points, maybe 110, something like that. Definitely 100. His range survivability is really good. That's the cool part about him. You got evade now, and some of the future solos are going to also have evade, which is fitting, and it helps him a lot for sure. The cool thing about him having evade is that he has evade, and he's got a force rating. And I think you compare him with some force battery like Yoda of Dagobah and things like that. And you can even pair him with, the cool thing, you can pair him with like a light spirit, like a Obi-Wan Kenobi spirit or something like that. Get that force charged up, and then he's going to be using evade for a while. That's another good way to do it. So I think the force rating overall, like people have Jedi Hunter, things like that, that'll be annoying. But for the most part, you could probably do some fun and clever things with that. So definitely something to keep in mind. Melee survivability still, like, it's not like he has a whole lot helping him out, but, mobile, twin, he can kind of run around and get out of the way a little bit. Max damage definitely is good. The reason why it's not even better, though, is this is kind of bare minimum. Like, by the time you get to 46, every shooter is going to have, an interesting power. They're going to be doing 20, 30 damage per shot. So while it's good that he catches up, it's not like anything out of the ordinary. But his special abilities, though, I think he's got an exceptional synergy and abilities, because like accurate and cunning and mobile and twin, they all go together. And then having a force rating, I think, really goes together with re-rolling things, evade, very nice. So awesome synergy going off his powers, and his versatility is also very great. I don't know. I just didn't feel like saying a 5 on his versatility. I think he's, being a hit and run shooter means you can already do a lot and help out a lot. But that's kind of what he's pegged to doing. So I think still his versatility is awesome, but everything kind of goes towards his role, and I think he does a pretty solid job of it. So Han Solo score, I gave him a 4.5. I just didn't feel like giving him a 5 overall. I think his abilities are really nice, but I actually haven't really used him before, so I'll confess. If you've used him, let me know what you think, because I actually got him recently for the first time. I've always wanted him because he looks so cool, Rebel character, awesome hit and running. But sometimes I feel like I look at this guy and I'm like, like I've already said that something about him to me feels like he's a little expensive, and maybe I'm totally wrong. So I'll have to hear from you guys, see what you think, but definitely has a lot of good kit going on, good stuff going on, absolutely. But he's got epic powers. In summary, in some ways, Han Solo's, at least this one, he kind of reminds me of like a flightless Boba Fett. Yeah, Boba Fett has Bounty Hunter as well, which is even better, but like they're both cunning, they're both accurate, they're both evade, they both got mobile, they both got twin, so they both have a lot of similarities going on there. Obviously, Boba Fett's a lot better, but kind of remind me of like similar things, but also he's like 15 points cheaper than Boba Fett Bounty Hunter. But anyway, that's kind of all I have to say about this guy overall. He's an elite mobile sharpshooter. And it could be fun. I'm curious what kind of squads he could go really well with, because like I said, he's brand new to me, and we'll see. If you guys request it, definitely I'd like to hear your requests for making squads. I've had a really fun time making interesting out-of-the-box squads lately. I've made some really fun ones. And I would be curious to hear if there's any solos in here that you enjoy, and that you want me to try to like make a squad with. Maybe like out-of-the-box squad or something like that. But I'd love to hear from you and see what you say. So let's move on to the next Han Solo. This one is Han Solo Rogue. So I don't know. I've always had a hard time with this one. To me, every time I look at the mini, I just think he's like squatting on the toilet or something. It's really awkward. It's like his knees are at 90 degrees, and I'm like, man, this guy's crab walking or something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just too harsh. I always thought it was hilarious. So Han Solo Rogue from Alliance and Empire, and this is the first of, I think, 3 solos. Alliance and Empire had a lot. So we got 30, 70, 16, 7, and 20. So these are actually the weakest solo stats you're going to see. But he's got accurate and cunning, like you'd expect. He's also got evade, and now he's got never tell me the odds, which is fun. So suppressing the special abilities that modify initiative, can counter recon, can counter, what was the other one? Anticipation? No, I don't remember. My brain is mush today. And then countering, of course, Thrawn and his power. Definitely nice to be able to do that. But the thing that's funny about this guy is he's similar cost to the Rebel Storm one. Similar powers, but this guy's got evade and never tell me the odds, which might not always come up, but it's great when you have it. But like, gee whiz, 70 hit points, 16 defense. I know you have evade, but he doesn't have a force rating anymore to like kind of like have a little extra oomph to help with that. I don't think I like this guy very much. I don't know. I know you can fix him easily. Just give him the Twi'lek Black Sun Vigo, and then he's got greater mobile attack and evade and all that crap. Or give him Recon to give him mobile attack. But I don't know. I haven't really used this solo much either. He does not seem very interesting to me. But let's see how he stacks up with other characters that are about 30 shooters that are 30. And other Han Solos. So overall, I did end up giving him a good score, although kind of a little bit below the 3 region. His hit points for a shooter that is in that cost region ended up being a 3. That's strange. I would have given him a 2.5 looking back at it, because I made this originally a while ago, did some tweaks recently. Seems a little high, but his range survivability is solid, because he does have evade at least, which is nice. Man, I still feel like that's a little bit too generous. Yeah, I feel like I'm being too generous on this guy. His melee attack, obviously, is not really there. His attack is bad, having 7 attack for costing 30. Ugh, give me 9, please. Or 8 or 9 at least. So, not the best base attack at all, for sure. His max damage ain't that good either. For a guy who costs 30, I'd like a little bit more. His special abilities, though, I'd say they're good. Like, I think they're great, actually. That's the thing about Han Solo's. He has great special abilities, but sometimes it doesn't feel like he's able to, like, make the biggest punch. But he's accurate, so you can definitely pick and choose your targets a little easier. His ability synergy is still pretty solid. His versatility, though, I don't think he's as versatile. He's missing that mobile aspect. You have to bring someone else in if you want to give him the mobile aspect. So he kind of has to, like, get into a spot and then shoot somebody and then kind of get out of the way. But then he's going to be easy to hit. So, like, yeah, you'll get to use evade, of course. But he's kind of easier to hit, easier to kind of, less tanky, more squishy. Not my favorite. If I was going to use a shooter from Alliance and Empire, I wouldn't touch this guy. I'd use Luke of Yavin. That one's a lot more fun. When it comes to solos, I just gave him a good rating, a 3. Man, I don't know. For some reason, I'm feeling really negative on this guy right now, but he's alright, I guess. I think 3's okay. Blue Milk kind of agrees as well. Blue Milk was just like, yeah, let's do 6.9. It's pretty average for Blue Milk ratings. And then eBay, this guy's cheap. Super cheap, so anyway. Less mobility. He's got the poorest stats of all the Han Solos. Yeah, having Never Tell Me the Odds, it is nice, but like maybe you're not always going to need to use it. But when you have it, it's a nice deterrent. And then, yeah, you got to pair him with the Twi'lek Black Sun Vigo, of course. It's kind of a give me. But overall, he doesn't really excite me too much, to be honest. But we're getting there. So Han Solo and Stormtrooper armor. Now, to this guy, he is really, really interesting and really unique and fun kind of character. I like the theme, how they're going off that Stormtrooper thing. Although in the movie, he's not actually wearing his armor when he's doing his furious assault. He's actually just kind of running with the belt and the gun, but whatever. So Han Solo and Stormtrooper armor, 25. That's actually really cheap. Really cheap. He's got nice stats, 80, 19, 8, and 20. He's also got stealth, so like, he's got some nice survivability going on, especially range-wise. And then the thing that's so much fun, so replace this turn with Furious Assault, can go up to 12, and then just shoot everybody once with like a blaster barrage, basically. So this guy, he's really, really fun if you want to just kind of get him out there, bam, just shoot a ton of people. He has stealth, so people aren't going to be able to counterattack him necessarily as easily. So that's a lot of fun to be able to do that. He's a commander, and he gives followers charging fire, which I think is kind of a low-key awesome commander effect. If you give it to melee attackers, it means they can rush up to their enemies really well and smash them. I think of that with like giving it to some nice Wookiees, some characters with stealth that can move really fast around, stay in cover, shoot. I think there's some sweet applications actually for charging fire. I really like it a lot. Imagine giving to like Chewbacca. He can go 12 squares, use momentum on somebody, something like that. So nice command effect. I really, really like it. Kind of fun. And then I love the Fierce Assault aspect. He could be another cool person. I'm sure you guys have made a lot of cool squads. Let me know kind of what squads or what you think about this particular Han Solo. Because right now I'm just trying to like think he could be a fun Han Solo to do a squad video about. Because he's one of the more interesting Solos because he's unique. A lot of the other Han Solos, they're accurate shot, cunning attack, and then some variation of like 80 hit points, 18 defense, and something like that. But I think this guy's so cool. He's really interesting and out of the box. So overall, I gave him the grade score. He's close enough to a 4 that he got it. His hit points are great. For a 25, he's got 80 points as a shooter. That's really good. It's above average. His range survivability is nice. He just has stealth, but that's really, really helpful. His melee survivability, I gave him a 2, although it should be higher than that because he can go 12 in attack. So he can very comfortably run away from melee attackers, barring they don't just run right up next to him and he has to get away via attack of opportunity. But he can move 12 and shoot him, so that is kind of nice. So I think if I redid this, I'd kind of bump that up a little bit. His attack is good. Max damage is awesome. I'm kind of doing that based off of potential. Like, yeah, he can just shoot one guy if he can see one guy, but if he can see a nice crowd, that's pretty nice. Pretty nice overall. So I like his special abilities. I think they're great. I think his ability synergy is pretty solid. I think stealth and Furious Assault go pretty well together, and he can like go from point to point and just knock out a bunch of people without getting touched as much. Versatility, not quite there. I think the other solos are more versatile because of kind of the kit they bring, whereas this guy, he's kind of more geared towards this like specific, interesting kind of blaster barrage stealth role. But I think his commander effect, like I mentioned, is great. I gave him a 4 score for Han Solo. I think he's really, really fun. I got an 8.1 on Blue Milk. Like I've mentioned before, anything above an 8 means, even though Blue Milk scores can be all messed up, that's a good score for sure. So definitely a fan of that. And then, Blaster Barrager, very cheap to pick up on eBay, $5. Like when I was taking a look, I was like, what's this guy like? And man, some of these Han Solos are just so cheap to find, so not too hard to pick them up. So I definitely recommend this one. A lot of fun, and I think it'd be fun to do some theory crafting and making some cool squads. The last one now for Alliance and Empire is Han Solo on Tauntaun. This guy is fascinating because, and here's why. If you take a look at his abilities and his stats, he's actually kind of insane. Like, really good for a Han Solo. Like, holy crap, good for Han Solo. But he got a bad score. He's bad rating on Blue Milk. They don't like it as much. And I think probably what that comes down to is his size. I think he's just because he's a large. He can be maybe a little bit awkward, a little bit harder to maneuver, get around places, maybe easier to surround and whatnot. So I think that's kind of what holds him back a little bit. But he's a 27, so already, he's kind of cheap. He's almost a 25. He's about the same rating as the Rebel Storm one. Heck, he's even cheaper than Han Solo Rogue, who's at 30. This guy's so much better. So he's got 90 hit points. That's awesome. Like for a shooter to have 90 hit points at 27, we're talking for sure. 16 defense, so that's lower. 9 attack, 20 damage. We got accurate, cunning, heal 10, mobile attack, and speed 8. So this guy's quick. And then he's got the force rating as well. So, man, this guy's so fun. He's quick. He's got mobile. He's kind of versatile because he does have heal. It's not a great heal 10, a heal ability, but like he does have it, thrown in there, which is nice. So I see this guy as like a little bit of an extra mobile sharpshooter. Kind of nice. I really like him. I think if he wasn't a large base, I think if he was a medium base, I think this guy's Blue Milk rating would be like 8.5 or something, because this is all really, really good on a shooter that costs 27. So, taking a look at him in summary, I gave him the really good rating. I think I like him a lot more than Blue Milk does, because when you just kind of break down how he compares to others, it looks favorable. Like having 90 HP on a 27 is very nice. Like that's basically as good as it gets. He's got nice survivability, mostly because of the speed, the mobile attack. He even has heal 10, so he can even perform any healing that he needs to as well. The melee survivability isn't the worst in the world, but since he is fast, he can run away. The max damage is, as usual, just 1 attack, not as awesome. Special abilities, though, I love all these special abilities. I don't really care for heal 10 as much, but having speed 8 with mobile, cunning, and accurate is pretty cool. His ability synergy is good. I think his versatility is also very good. And then for Han Solo score, I gave him a 3.5. Blue Milk did the 7.04, which is a little lower than I would have said, but I think that's what it is. I think the large base kind of holds him back because he is kind of big, clunky, maybe a little bit harder to hide around, but he does have a lot of good stuff. He's got really nice stats. He's got really nice abilities he brings to the table. So I think if you can be clever with him, use him in a nice squad, use him right, I think he could do some fun things for you. So, in summary, like I said, he's got awesome stats and special abilities. Really, for any character that's this cost, that's really good. But yeah, like I mentioned, large base, kind of clunky. So I think that definitely factors into why he's a little less popular. But I mean, just objectively, taking out the whole large base thing, got some nice stuff. Okay, so from the Force Unleashed, we got Han Solo on Carbonite. This guy's silly. He's really just kind of like a role-playing piece. The whole Frozen and Carbonite gimmick is basically your opponent sets him up, but you can choose a Han Solo and you get him for half off as part of your score and the cost in your squad building. And then essentially, basically, it's like if someone gets to him at the very end of their turn, he comes out of Carbonite and he joins your squad. I think that it's kind of a fun idea, but in reality, it's kind of silly because Han Solos, they rely on being hit and run, mobility, and if you open this guy up in the enemy's base, you don't have any of that anymore. Like, you're just gonna get chopped up pretty quick, I'd imagine. But I don't know. I don't think these things that good at all. So the overall score was a poor. Special abilities, I just gave it a 2.5. You know, at the end of the day, if you choose an expensive Han Solo or even like a cheap one, if you're like, hey, let's use, you know, Han Solo Rogue, and he costs 30. Well, now I get him for 15. You know, objectively, like, okay, you're getting a pretty nice character that costs 15. So, like, I don't hate that, but there's a lot of stipulations around it that I just don't think it's going to work that well, honestly. And even if he does come out of Carbonite, he'll probably just get jumped on. But, I don't know. I came at a Han Solo score, I just gave him a 2. I don't want to be too harsh on him. Blue Milk score, a 5.26. So he's not popular on Blue Milk, obviously. And his specialties is that he's a rock. He's a nice decorating piece for the map. You can kind of put him maybe on the side wall or something like that. Kind of bring some extra, some nice artwork to the environment. So, but ironically, he's the most expensive Han Solo there is. $24 about retail right now on eBay. That could totally change, but as in a collector's piece, definitely worth picking up. But to play it, I don't know. Like, if you wanted to design a really sweet squad around leveraging this thing, taking advantage of that cheap Han Solo cost, I guess you could, but like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not really into it, but kind of fun, kind of fun little gimmicky idea. All right, so Han Solo of Hoth, the awkward stepchild of Han Solos. So this guy's funny. He costs 33. He's 80, 18, 8, and 20, but you can tell he's missing 2 things that would help a lot. So he's unique. He's got cunning. That's nice, because they usually got cunning. He's got evade. That's good. Han Solos typically have evade now. But he has double attack, too, which is cool, because Han Solos are typically wanted single attackers, with some exceptions. But the elephant in the room is that he doesn't have mobile attack, and especially he doesn't have accurate shot. Because Han Solo, he's kind of known for having accurate shot, basically in almost every iteration. Except for this one, and it's kind of awkward because he's sort of expensive-ish with 33, but you have to put him in a spot. He has to use evade. He doesn't even have a force rating to, like, you know, have an extra shot at reroll or any ability to, you know, gain that. But I don't know. I'm just not. I can see why people don't like him, but I think he's somewhat easy to fix. So overall, I think he's still good-ish character. I know Blue Milk's really harsh on him, and I totally understand for good reason, but he's very easy to fix, though. His hit points are good. His range survivability is good, especially since he has evade. That is helpful. Maybe survivability, terrible. The attack at 8, solid. His max damage is awesome. The cool thing about this guy is he costs 33, and he could do 60 damage pretty easily. Honestly, or somewhat easily. That's not bad. That's actually pretty sweet. So Han Solos typically don't do a ton of damage, but he does. Special abilities, though, I still think they're really good. It is a bummer he's missing accurate shot for sure. His ability synergy is solid, being able to have cunning and double. And then evade's going to be helpful because it's like if you got to put yourself in a position to be exposed, and someone's going to start attacking you, having evade's going to be helpful to kind of be able to do your counterattacking. Versatility, though, I don't think is quite as nice because he loses the mobility and the sharpshooting. And when it comes to Han Solo scores, I just gave him a 3. I wanted to be a little bit more generous towards him because I do like the fact that he can dish more damage out as opposed to the other ones, but he definitely needs the Twi'lek Black Sun Vigo to fix him, essentially, because he's got evade, you give it to him, then he gets greater mobile attack, and that's going to be really fun. Really, really good. He still is missing accurate shots, you're not getting that, but definitely pair him with the Twi'lek Black Sun Vigo. It's his best friend, and I think he'll be in good shape there. So, honestly, I think he gets dumped on a little too much, but I understand why. Having Han Solo lose one of his characteristic main powers is kind of a bummer, but he could be fun. He could be a fun guy to squad build around, see like what kind of like powerful abilities we can give. It's just, again, one of the problems is just don't use him. Go use like Dash Rendar Renegade Smuggler, and it's like, you know, you're getting a mobile attack shooting guy, tons of attacks, so it's like, what are we doing here? But that's how it is with slightly older sets. Alright, so Han Solo Galactic Hero. Let's turn things around here. So this one is a pretty crazy Han Solo. Very expensive. He costs 50. He's 90 hit points, 19 defense, 10 attack, 20 damage. So pretty top of the line stats for the most part when it comes to Han Solos at least. However, a lot of shooters that cost this much will have more hit points than him. Han Solos just typically don't have a lot of HP. Like they have enough, but not like an overwhelming amount. Special abilities. This guy's got the whole slate. We got accurate shot. We got cunning attack. Disruptive now, so those commander effects are going bye-bye. He's got double and greater mobile. He's got greater mobile. He's got never tell me the odds and double attack, evade. So this guy's got like everything. He's got the whole galore. He's got every. Basically, you get all the Han Solos, and then you take all of their unique abilities and give them to him, with the exception of Stormtrooper armor, dude. And you got a guy who's just a tough guy to deal with. Really annoying. Really versatile. Can do so much. Can be. Take away commander effects, can hit and run very easily, can suppress initiative things, so like, gee whiz. So overall, I think he's awesome. He got the highest rating for Han Solo, no surprise. He is really expensive, but like, I've used him before, and he's been pretty awesome for me. So, obviously he doesn't fit maybe as well with using the General Wedge Antilles, because he already got all that stuff, but still, really good. His hit points are 2.5, so like I mentioned, a lot of shooters that are this expensive, they're going to have more HP than this. Like, they're going to be in the 110s, 100s, 120s region for sure sometimes, but 90 is still really good. It's good enough, at least, with all these powers. His melee survivability is decent. His range survivability, he's got everything you want for range survivability going on here. He got the mobile ability. He could really destroy someone who's like annoying him. Evade's great, so he's got it. He's got what you need. Minus having stealth, he's pretty solid. The attack is solid. The max damage is solid. So like again, those things aren't the most crazy thing in the world, but they're good. And then let's see, we got just kind of everything else is looking really nice. So when it comes to abilities, I mean, he's got everything you want. He's got the whole shebang, the whole toolbox of being an insane shooter with like just so many helpful things. So I mean, what else am I going to say about this? He's got great special ability synergy, super versatile, and I just felt like it was right to give him the best score of all the Han Solos. Yeah, he's expensive obviously, but like he is fun to use. I have used him before. He's pretty fun, pretty good, and he's just like it's such a laundry list of powers. It's so strong. So anyway, I'll leave it that there. I don't have too much else to say with this guy. He's expensive, but he's worth the cost. Very cheap, like I said before, to pick up. It's so funny if you compare this guy to Han Solo from Bounty Hunter. Let's see, there's like a 4-point gap, but this guy's so much better. So much better. It's crazy because he's got better stats. Like he's got 10 more HP and extra defense. He's got 2 more attack. So I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but like just that, could be enough to raise the guy's cost like a hair. But then on top of that, he's got disruptive. On top of that, he's also got greater mobile and double instead, which is a lot more flexibility going on as well. So I can see, I think even though those two are similar cost, and he's a hair more, he's way more worth it in my opinion. Let's see, what do we got next? I think we're almost to the end of the Han Solos. So we got Han Solo Smuggler now. So I think of this Han Solo similar to the original, similar to Han Solo Rogue, where you're just kind of like, you have a nice shot, and then kind of generic-y type of kind of standard Han Solo things going on here with stats. 27, 70 HP, 16 defense, so that's on the low end, definitely. 10 attack, 20 damage. He's got unique, he's got accurate shot, and opportunist 20, and that's it. Honestly, I don't know if I really like this guy a crazy amount. He's 27. Like, he's like arguably not even as good as the Rebel Storm one. He's similar cost. He's got worse survivability for sure. The attack is a little better. That's good. Don't get me wrong. Opportunist 20, very nice. He can do a really good shot on someone. 14 attack, 40 damage. Absolutely, you can easily buff him. If you're a person who likes to run, the recon squads, giving him melee and evade's great. Mobile and evade is awesome. But just kind of for what he brings compared to the other solos, I don't think I like it as much. I think I like Han Solo Rogue even more because he at least has evade, and he has initiative suppressing powers, or initiative modification suppressing powers. So I think I like this guy just more. I like the other one more. It's just I'm not a fan of how he just has a good shot and that's it. And he could probably melt like butter too, unless you kind of buoy him up with stuff. So overall, I think his HP for being a 27 shooter, it's good enough. But its survivability, very bad. His attack is nice. I gotta give him credit for having solid attack. His max damage is good. You know, when he gets an opportunist shot off, 40 damage is really nice. That's like having double attack almost, you know, 20 and 20. Special abilities, pretty solid. Being able to have an accurate shot with opportunist 20 is not bad. The synergy of the powers is good. I think overall, I don't think he's that versatile. Like, he's gonna melt. He needs to depend. You know, you gotta play him just right to use the opportunist. But having an accurate shot makes it not a lost cause either. I'm just not a big fan of him. I'm just not. On Han Solo score, I gave him a 2.5. I wasn't just not digging it. Honestly, I know that's much lower than what Blue Milk does. Like a 7.7 on Blue Milk equivalent is like for me saying like 3.7 or something like that, which is way different than what I said. I'm just not as impressed because I see this guy. I know Opportunist plus 20 is cool, but like he does compare pretty similarly with some of the other Han Solos. And I just like all the other ones a lot more. So this one doesn't excite me. Definitely is an easy guy to pick up, $6. Surprisingly, one of the easier KOTOR guys to get. But yeah, kind of reminds me of some of those other ones, but this one's missing evade, and I think I'd like to have that. So last but least, we got General Solo. This guy's a weirdo. 49, holy smokes. So he's an expensive one. He's 80, 18, 9, and 20. So very normal stats for Han Solo. See, this guy, he's so strange. So he's got double. That's cool. He's got accurate and evade and never tell me the odds. So those are some nice Han Solo ones to mix in there for sure. But he doesn't have the mobile like shooting thing going on there. But evade helps at least to keep him stay alive. He's got long shot 20, which is like kind of gimmicky, but also very strong when it works. Plus 4 attack and 20 damage when this character's at half hit points or less. So if you gauge it right, and this guy's at like 40 or 30 HP or something like that, he's going to do 13 attack, 40 damage, 2 shots. That is actually really insane. It really is. Like, that is really strong. It's just the scary thing is if he's that weak, he might only get to do it once. He might not even get to do it at all. So, kind of a little bit of a yikes with kind of trying to juggle that right. I always have a hard time with powers where your guy has to be really hurt for them to be good. I get it's kind of fun flavor in the game, but like from a practical standpoint, kind of makes me kind of worried, a little bit worried. But his commander effect though is unique allies within 6 squares gain long shot 10. So that's actually kind of interesting because it only applies to unique allies, and then long shot can be, if you give it to the right guy, actually can be really, really interesting, really helpful. But overall, it's like you'd have to figure out the right person to pair him with to make it really great. But at the end of the day, though, this guy costs 49. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. This guy costs 1 less than Galactic Hero. And I just wouldn't touch this guy at a 10-foot pole compared to Galactic Hero. Don't get me wrong. When long shot 20 works and you can get it off, that's pretty deadly. But hopefully your enemy... Hopefully if you're against this guy, you can kind of plan around it to minimize it as much as possible. Maybe get him down to like 50 HP and then like find a way to just blast him really quick. But still. Anyway, I gave him a fair rating. He isn't terrible. Like, he's got good powers. The commander effect's interesting, but not wonderful. Like, he does have interesting powers. Long shot 20, if you're able to use it once or twice, can be pretty deadly. But his hit points for something that was like this much, not a fan of the hit points. That's kind of lagging behind your 80 hit points on some that expensive. You can get 80 hit points on a person who costs 30, and it's normal. So his range survivability is decent, though, at least that he has evade. That helps. And then he's got melee survivability is bad. His attack, not so awesome, having 9 attack. Of course, it can go up a little bit more when you get long shot, but that's also not very great. Max damage is solid. He's got double, 20 damage, and then factoring a little bit of long shot, that helps him a lot. I do think his special abilities are good overall. Like, he still's got accurate, still got evade. He can do double, kind of like some of the Han Solos that don't do as much damage. He can be able to shoot more often, which is nice. And then never tell me the out. So he definitely has good abilities for sure. I think the ways his abilities work together are fine. They're pretty good. I think overall he's a good character, just kind of whatever. I don't like the commander effect too much. If you can give it to the right guy, like for example, I think giving him, if you have a unique ally that has a lot of HP, that's going to be better, because then he's going to be able to have a longer runway to be able to use long shot. So yeah, if you can think of someone good with, like, part of me is like, well, what about Chewbacca? Well, he can only shoot once, but it could be really big help for him since Chewbacca does have a ton of HP just by default as it stands. But yeah, unique allies, interesting. It's really specific. And then overall, Blue Milk doesn't like him very much. 5.7, that's a pretty bad score on Blue Milk, and I would agree. I don't think he's a total lost cause. You probably have to think of something really special for him to put him in a cool squad to make him really awesome. But it's just so strange because Masters of the Force, they like dropped a couple of these random duds, and you're like, what the heck is this? Like Grievous Kalish Warlord, you're like, well, okay, it's fine, I guess. And General Solo, you're like, well, whatever. And then you have the Lando, who's actually kind of interesting, to be honest with you. So we'll have to do Lando at some point. Maybe one of you guys can request that one. So in summary, I like the new flavor. Like, I think it's cool that they're trying something kind of new, but I think it's a little bit too risky. But then, yeah, like I mentioned, when long shot works, it can be pretty destructive, for sure. Pretty destructive. It just a little worries me that you have to wait for your guy to almost be dead to use it. So, anyways, what do we got here with all these Han Solos? So in last place, we got... oh no, it didn't transfer over when I did the switch over. That stinks. Well, I'm gonna manually do this. Let's pull up. Yeah, this is gonna be a little stinky. Well, bear with me here, people. I'm gonna pause the video. It's not gonna look like a pause on your end, but I'm gonna pause it real quick, get this thing sorted out, and then I'll... Alright, so that was a pretty brief pause in time for the video, but when I updated this, for some reason it wasn't transferring over this final ranking correctly. So let's jump into it now. Sorry for that delay. For last place, we got Han Solo Carbonite, no surprise. Then got the original OG Han Solo. Really isn't honestly too bad. He's pretty easy to modify, but he falls behind the other Solos for sure. We got General Solo, kind of a quirky goofball with costs so much, but is a little intriguing in some ways. Han Solo of Hoth, disappointing. He's missing accurate shot, missing mobile attack, but he's easy to fix, luckily. Han Solo Rogue doesn't excite me too much, and I'm going to do this one, Han Solo Smuggler. They kind of ended up being kind of 1A, 1B together. Really similar. They're just kind of like bare bones Solo, accurate shot. One has cunning, one has opportunist. One has evade and another power too. So kind of similar in some ways. They're just kind of like a nice shot Han Solo type, but I'm not a big fan of those ones personally. I'd honestly rather use Han Solo of Hoth than these two, just because I think it would be more fun and interesting to make something to get Han Solo of Hoth unlocked, but whatever. Han Solo on Tauntaun. So I definitely was high on him because, like, if you just look at it, like the abilities he's got, and then even his raw stats for how much he costs is kind of a great deal. The large base is kind of a deterrent for sure, but like, I mean, I think there's a little bit more there than meets the eye. Han Solo Stormtrooper armor, really fun, really nice, very unique. He's like the only Solo on this entire list that's this unique. Of course, with the exception of Han Solo and Carbonite. Han Solo Rebel Hero still turns out to be super nice. Like, it's crazy how he was the second Han Solo made, and he ended up being one of the better ones, in my opinion. A little bit of a more basic one, but still very good. Next, we got Han Solo Scoundrel. We got the Bounty Hunter version. He's good. I like him. I'm not as crazy about it as I thought I would be. Definitely has great abilities, great powers. But the actual stats, though, that he's got carrying those powers around, for me, are a little bleh. But I think I'm being overreacting too much, maybe. And then finally, Han Solo Galactic Hero. I think he's just the total package. He costs a lot, but he's got like every power in the book. Super, super nice. So I'm a big fan of him. I think it's because I've used him and had a lot of fun with him in the past, But anyways, I'm going to leave this up here. Feel free to pause and just take a look. I got all their eBay costs, the specialties. As you can see, they're mostly just sharpshooters and mobile sharpshooters. That's really what Han Solo is all about, with a couple of exceptions and fun nuances mixed in. Across the board, Han Solos have great special abilities. They really do. It's all that great sharpshooting, cutting attack, accurate shot, mobile attack type of stuff. Very, very nice. Got some interesting commander effects mixed in there, but nothing too crazy for the most part. Usually, I think his abilities, they also synergize well. Like I mentioned, all the abilities play off each other that I typically got. So Han Solos in general tend to be that way. The HP on some of the cheaper ones is pretty solid, while on the expensive ones, they kind of keep that same HP, so it doesn't really kind of modify or improve very well going through it. Not a lot of melee survivability going on, but definitely a lot of range survivability for the most part here. Solid attack across the board. The max damage, I'd say for the most part, is kind of meh. These guys aren't. Han Solo's not meant for being like a high damage shooter, but he's really meant for being like an accurate sharpshooter. You can choose your target, knock somebody out, and he can do a pretty good job of that overall. So, anyway, I think that's it. I'm going to go back to here and leave it here. So if you stuck through this video, thank you so much. Please like, please subscribe, definitely comment. I'd love to hear what you think about all of these Han Solos. Yeah, I think there ended up being about 9 of them. Or was this 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wow, that's more than I thought. Gee whiz, that went by kind of quick. But they're all really interesting. Some I like more than others, but I'd love to hear what you think about these solos. And then again, I'd like to hear just anything. Like, what do you think about the sculpts? Which ones do you like the most? Which Han Solo do you think I should try to like make it interesting or clever squad with? That I can make a video about later. So I'll leave it with that things. But again, I appreciate the view. Appreciate all the awesome great feedback I've been getting from everybody. The great discussion. It's been a lot of fun. Great community out there. But I'll leave it there again. Until next time, have a good one.